It passed. They passed the stimulus check bill. Finally, thank God. Maybe I should actually say, what's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. Finally, they have passed the bill in the House and the Senate. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video, what's going on, what to expect going forward, when to expect money, how to claim the different buckets of money, the rent assistance, the stimulus checks, the EIDL grants, the PPP grants, all the different things that they've passed in this bill and what to expect going forward. But first, don't forget to give this video a like down below. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on future updates, because we have seen both Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell this week say that this is just a start and there is more stimulus packages to come as early as next month. In addition to that, we will be covering the Senate runoff races that happen in about less than 2 weeks at this point, where the fate of the Senate will be decided. If that turns to the Democrats, then basically the Democrats will be able to pass a stimulus bill all on their own without any Republican support at all for the next stimulus package. And if not, then they'll have to give some concessions to Mitch McConnell, who has already said he knows that there's more stimulus packages coming. Nancy Pelosi has a press release that says, "Dear colleague, on the next steps in addressing the health and economic crisis, now that we have completed the coronavirus emergency relief and omnibus package, we must focus on work to be done in the new Congress. While we have realized the urgent need for resources to crush the virus, so we can open our economy and schools safely, we must also recognize more needs to be done." That, I'm not just saying this is literally the theme that I've been hearing over and over and over and over. We're going to go over that in a second. To the end, we must honor our heroes by supporting state and local government, because there is no state and local government funding in this bill, which we'll go over the details here in a second. It is important to know that in stimulus relief bills this year, Congress has appropriated nearly $1 trillion for PPP to save small business jobs, but only $160 billion to save the jobs of our heroic frontline workers, our healthcare, first responders, transportation, sanitation, food, and our teachers, our teachers, our teachers. It is also important to note that the GOP, the grand old party, aka Republicans, insisted on a tax break of $160 billion for the wealthiest in America in the CARES Act. That's the first stimulus package. The legislation we passed today does acknowledge the role states must play in the distribution and administration of the vaccine, as well as in education and transportation as we go forward. However, states and local budgets are still overwhelmed by the virus expenses and revenue losses. As we agreed to the extension of the virus relief fund, I had hoped that Republicans would agree to flexibility, but they did not. Thanks to the good work of our chairs and their committees in the 116th Congress, we are well prepared to develop strong legislation with the Biden-Harris administration to build back better. The pandemic pulled the curtain on the disparities in our economy and our society, and it also deepened the divide. In the new Congress, I am proposing a select committee to address economic disparities and promote fair growth. In doing so, members have emphasized that our path forward must prioritize workforce development, childcare, and mental health. As we observe the holidays, we carry in our hearts over 315,000 lives that were lost to the virus, remembering them and their families in our prayers. We advanced this bill today as a first step. We have new hope, which springs from the vaccine and from Committee President-elect Biden to following science. We are ready for the next step. Best wishes to you, your family, and a safe and happy holidays. So the total of the stimulus package was about $900 billion, and the government funding package also was $1.4 trillion. That's basically the government budget for the entire next 12 months to fund the entire government. $1.4 trillion and $900 billion in stimulus, basically to help Americans and the economy. The U.S. House of Representatives passed the stimulus bill and the government funding bill with a 359 yes vote to 53 no votes. The Senate then passed it by a 92-6 margin, actually a better percentage there. The vast majority of people that voted against it were Republicans. I will get you those exact numbers and kind of who voted against it here coming forward in the next day or so, because I know a lot of people are interested in which of their senators and representatives voted against more stimulus for the Americans. Now, this bill has not made it to President Donald Trump's desk yet, but they did send a continuing resolution to keep the government open for the next 7 days that President Donald Trump did sign. Just after midnight, Trump signed the bill H.R. 1520, known as the Further Extension of the Continuing Appropriations Act 2021, which provides fiscal year appropriations to federal government agencies through Monday, December 28th, for basically continuing the federal government. This resolution will keep the government open till then. That paperwork still needs to be completed on the massive relief deal and has not been sent to the White House yet. That process will take a few days. I will keep you updated on when the bill actually goes to President Donald Trump's desk and what happens then thereafter. Let's talk about some of the key provisions in this stimulus package. Direct stimulus payment checks of $600 per adult and $600 per child. Now, let me explain to you as much as I know so far. This bill is actually 5,529 pages, or 5,500 and some pages. So there's a lot to read through. So I'm learning as much as I can very quickly to give you guys all the information. I know you guys are going to have a lot of questions and a lot of like, do I get the payment? Do you get the payment? Who gets the payment? When do we get the payment? As well as these other buckets of money like the PPP grants, the EIDL grants, unemployment. So let me just try to clear up as much as I know right now, and in future videos, I will clear up even more going forward. Number one, if you received the stimulus check last time, you're pretty much good to go. You should be receiving this stimulus check, okay? Adult dependents will not be receiving this check, just like they did not receive the last check. I'm sorry, but maybe next time around. I don't make these rules. Remember, guys, I just I'm here to report to you guys all this stuff and make this stuff simpler for you to understand. Children under the age of 17, so 16 and under, will receive $600 stimulus checks this time around. Last time it was $500. This time it is $600. So if you're a family of one, $600. If you're a family of two, $1,200. If you're the average family of 2 adults and 2.2 children, 4 people would receive $2,400. If you're a family of 6, $3,600. So it is a decent amount. If you're more than one person, larger families obviously will receive more in this. If you have an ITIN person in the family, and last time that disqualified you from getting a check, this time it will not, and only the person who doesn't have a social security number will not get a check. The other married person to that person and the children who have social security numbers will receive their checks this time around. Income limitation is similar to last time. Up to $75,000 of income, you will receive the full $600 stimulus check. If you're over $75,000, it's reduced by $5 for every $100 you make over $75,000 based on last year's tax returns. There's going to be a lot of different situations here that we'll go over in the next coming days. If you're on Social Security SSDI, you got the railroad benefits. If you got the last check, you will get this one. If you don't file a tax return in 2019, they'll go off your 2018 tax return. If you don't file a tax return at all, then you will likely have to use the IRS tool, which has not come out yet. I will update you guys on that going forward for all these different situations of when and who will get the checks. Child support, I have not seen a lot on that yet, but it looks like it will be the same provisions as previous child support. But don't hold me to that. That is one of the details I still need to kind of dig deeper into. Aid for struggling small businesses, including $284 billion for the Paycheck Protection Program. So, if you have a small business or a side hustle, if you have a 1099 that you get from Uber or Amazon, that is technically considered a small business in the form of these different government programs. So you likely would be able to get a forgivable grant or basically just a grant that does not even need to be forgiven for the PPP program or the EIDL program. The EIDL program can get you $1,000 to $10,000 basically on how many employees you have. You count as an employee. So that could be $1,000 if it's just you. If it's you and your wife, it could be $2,000 through the EIDL program. The PPP program can get you grants even higher than that. Again, based on your side business, even if you don't have an LLC, you can qualify for this. When they release more provisions on this and they pass the bill, the president signs it, and all this stuff goes into motion. I mean, it's passed in the House and the Senate. President still needs to sign it. As you've seen, it can take a few days to actually get the final bill to him. But I will be walking you through how to claim these different buckets of money and kind of answering as many questions I can to who qualifies for what, and just trying to kind of cover as many people as I can through the videos. $300 per week enhanced unemployment insurance benefits. There is no retroactive unemployment, and it goes forward for 11 weeks starting this week. I believe it starts on December 26th or 27th. So this week going forward, a $300 bonus goes into mid-March. I expect them to extend this again in the January and February stimulus packages. So it's not really that big of a deal that it ends in mid-March. It's enough to get us through to the next stimulus package by far, which the Biden administration will definitely want to extend that. $20 billion to buy vaccines, $20 billion for virus testing, $25 billion for rental assistance, and an eviction moratorium extension to the end of January. I will be walking you guys through how to claim the $25 billion worth of rental assistance that can actually give you basically another stimulus check to help you pay your rent and pay your mortgage going forward when we get the details and the provisions for that. $82 billion for schools and colleges. This deal will rescind $429 billion in unused funds from the CARES Act for the Federal Reserve's emergency lending facilities. $13 billion for the SNAP program, which I believe off the top of my head is a 15% increase for 4 months. $7 billion to bolster broadband, $45 billion to support transportation services and employees that work on those, and a tax credit to support employers offering paid sick leave. Make sure you subscribe and you share this video so others like you will be able to know these details and figure out how to claim all these different buckets of money, when the checks come out, all these different things I will be sharing with you guys in upcoming videos. So make sure to subscribe. New videos come out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Share this video, and also I just started a second channel with my wife will be hosting on, also called The Daily Dirt. So make sure you subscribe to that also. That's going to be a good channel going forward. We're covering some stimulus news now on there, but forward it's going to be a pretty awesome channel. Click this bottom video here to go to our newest video on The Daily Dirt, which goes over more details of the stimulus package, and make sure to subscribe on that channel also. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video.